Alrighty, welcome back. And today we're gonna work on making a medieval jam, a Medlar Jam. So I don't know if anybody is familiar with medlars, but they are an ancient fruit that used to be very popular in the Middle Ages, but they've since fallen out of favor for various reasons. And they're actually pretty good. But I think one of the main reasons they fell out of favor is that they just require a ripening process, just like persimmons do. So if you can get past that, they have an interesting flavor. Various people have tried to describe it as kind of like apple sauce, apple butter, cinnamon, apple. It is kind of like around that. So that they're hitting on something. The jam that I'm going to make today is just going to be a really simple, smash everything up, boil it down, and then add some sugar. So, and if you have a medlar tree, I think this is a good jam recipe because the trees are reliable and they like to produce quite a lot. So with that out of the way, let's get into medlar jam. I got a kilo of medlars in here, 2 lemons, 2 cups of water, and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm gonna try out a recipe I found online for a medlar jam. All right, one quick revision. This 1 kilo of fruit I put in here after I smashed them is looking pretty thick. So I think I'm gonna put in maybe another half a cup of water to thin it out a little bit, and then we'll see what happens. It smells good though, although it looks kind of gross. Okay, here we are a few minutes later. It's boiled down. It's a little bit looser. I think the plan is now I'm gonna run it through the food mill on 2 different settings, a coarse setting and then a smaller setting, and see if I can get all this stuff out of here. But it smells really good. All right, we're getting messy, but here's what it looks like when I ran it through the first food mill sieve. And I suspect there's a bunch of like cracked seeds and some other stuff they got through. So I'm gonna run it through again with this finer sieve and then see if I can get rid of the rest of it. Okay, yeah, check it out. See all that? That is what got through the first grate sieve, whatever you want to call it. So I think after this I'm probably good. Yeah, there's like a little cracked seed. That is definitely not good eats, as Alton Brown likes to say. But after this, I think we boil it down with some amount of sugar. I'm gonna have to look up in a second. I think it's like an equal amount by weight, but I don't think I'm gonna put in that much because that's quite a lot. All right, and this is what we have left. This little bit looks like pieces of leaves and skins and little broken pieces of seeds and whatnot. And that leaves our finished, well, semi-finished jam here. I'm gonna stir it up in a second, put some sugar in it, and then boil it down. All right, so starting to measure it now, we end up with 1.1 kilos, 1,100 grams. And the recipe calls for about 3/4 of the weight that you measured out to sugar. So we should use about 750 grams of sugar, and that's a lot. So I may cut it down a little bit. I'll stir it in there a little bit and sweeten it, and then taste it and see if it's kind of like over the top. So after this, it goes back in the pot. Gets boiled for a while. It should thicken up pretty. It's actually already pretty thick. You can kind of see it. I mean, that's pretty thick. So it'll thicken up a little bit more, and then we'll put it in jars and water bath can it, just like any other jam. One quick thing to note as I'm warming this up is that it feels like it's trying to stick to the bottom a little bit. It's probably because it's already pretty thick. So just make sure as you're warming this up to continue to stir it so that it doesn't stick and burn. Okay, I just gave it a taste. It's probably too sweet already, at least for me. So I think 450 grams of sugar to 1 kilo of fruit is probably too much. And next time maybe I'll try like, I don't know, 300, see how that goes. Because as this boils down a little bit, it's gonna concentrate, so it'll be even sweeter. So yeah, maybe 1/3 to the sugar to weight. I don't usually do sugar to weight recipes because they come out to be like ultra sweet. I usually do Pomona's Pectin's recipe, which I think she calls for like 8 cups of fruit and then maybe like 3/4 of a cup of sugar, so it's significantly less. But we'll see how this comes out in maybe another like 10 minutes of boiling. It's getting close. Alrighty, so here's what the final product looks like right before we're about to can it. Got my rings boiling. We're about to boil. This is simmering. I'm letting it just kind of thicken up a little bit more. They're going to go into these wet jars, and then I'm going to boil them for the standard 10 minutes, and then let them cool down.